Welcome to our podcast, Untangled Roots. Have you ever asked yourself the question, why am I here? Well, if you have, welcome to the starting point of the best part of your life. Hi, I'm Jamie.
And I'm Cassie. Join us as we share our perspective from our personal journey of untangling from everything that we're not. Let's go, truth seekers. Let's dive in. Welcome.
Welcome. I mean, what are we going to say?
We got to get comfortable. I think that's what we're doing. It's very interesting to talk. Like, it's like you're being recorded and we're getting comfortable. We're just getting comfortable.
Okay, podcast, like, do we look here or do we look here?
Right,
and then I'm like, don't look at the camera. Like, don't look at self, but like,
right,
look at the camera. But like, basically, okay, I'm setting the scene. I'm going to set the scene for us. Okay. Like, we have a friend.
Right.
We have a friend listening on the other side. Hi, friend.
Hey.
Welcome to Untangled Roots Podcast. This is our second episode where we decided that it was best to kind of share a little bit about each of ourselves and each of our own journey and what that looks like. But we did a little twist.
We're gonna do
twisty zest.
We're gonna do like separate. So Jamie's gonna go first, and she's just gonna tell you a little about her, and then
really serious.
And then I'll go. But it's kind of like nerve-wracking talking about yourself. Like, I'm like,
how was experience? So we've just recorded each of our own individually. How did your experience go of recording it?
I felt like I was like jumbling over my words. I felt like I didn't even say anything about myself.
Interesting. Okay,
I got to go back. I haven't watched it yet. So
yeah, we haven't watched it, and she hasn't listened to mine fully. I guess you got a little bit of it.
So it's gonna be interesting.
It is gonna be interesting, but so what you're about to hear, listen, see, watch is our beginning points of us taking our first take at us both starting to, where did our untangling our own roots journeys begin and how they looked.
Yeah. And I feel like, I didn't go into just a ton of depth, but that's the exciting part because we get to dive into each of these segments of life. And
when I was sharing mine, I was like, wow, that like there was so much depth.
There was so much to say that's like
of that.
I can't even say it all.
I know, it was like, okay, so like that's what I felt too. I was like, there was like such high level, but I like go into like identity for me and life after being an athlete.
Okay.
And that shift of like, who am I once sports for me stopped, which was like a massive journey in and of itself that I could go down for like, we could talk for hours.
There's so many rabbit trails.
So yeah. So anyway, we hope you enjoy. And after you listen, post any comments or questions below. And
super excited to be here.
I hope, yeah.
Thanks for joining.
Hi everyone. Super excited to share a little bit about myself and my past and kind of my journey along the way of untangling my own roots. And so to start off, I figured why not start from the beginning. So I was born and raised in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and a big part of my story that you'll hear about from what I shared, because a big chunk of my life was me being an athlete. I was playing competitive sports, as competitive as you can be, since I was 7 years old. And so, needless to say, I was kind of always seen as the tomboy, the athlete. I was Jamie the athlete. I played soccer, golf, and basketball all throughout elementary school, into high school, and then in college, I played golf and soccer. I was a dual sport athlete. So that was a lot. Being an athlete was a huge part of my identity all the way through college. And so when I've learned about untangling my own roots, honestly, it was a big identity shift that happened after college for me of understanding who am I beyond sports and who am I beyond being an athlete. And when sports stopped, it was like, majorly hit my system. But also I had my own journey even while I was doing sports. So just a little bit of kind of to share my credentials with you. In college, I studied business administration, got a concentration in economics and finance. And then because I played soccer as well, I was able to stay a fifth year. So I was able to pick up a second degree while I was there. And I studied computers, so management information systems. And after that, what I did was I stayed at that same university. I went to William Woods University, and I studied and got my master's in business administration. And amidst all that time, I would say in about my junior year of college, when I started to play 2 sports, I was really learning about myself in the way through relationship, which relationship just is the most amazing and challenging playground to know yourself, to know myself. And so I was learning that I wasn't bringing my own needs to the table, because one of a partner that I was with at the time, we had gone through a really rocky period, and what kickstarted my journey was honestly us in a really rocky period and me not understanding why. But they ended up saying like these exact words to me. And I'll never forget what it did to start my trajectory on truly looking back. That was me starting to untangle my roots. And the question was, the statement that they shared was, I don't want to be responsible for your own happiness. It's like, I'm done being responsible for your own happiness, is what they said to me. And I was like, what? Like, that blew my mind. I was like, what am I doing? So it was just like, what? Like, doing all this stuff, all this work, but like ultimately the love in my life like wasn't really working, even though I was performing at that top level. Like, I was doing all the things, right? Like, I was doing all the athletic stuff. I was getting good grades. I was like doing all this stuff, but then like relationally, I'm not doing so hot. And so like to be told that they don't want to be responsible, someone doesn't want to be responsible for my own happiness, I was just like, what makes you feel like you were? And after that, I was like, oh, no one's ever going to tell me that again, basically. And that was the start of me diving into my healing journey. So I was Googling, I got on Google, and I was like, I'm pretty sure it was like that night, I was like Googling how to be responsible for my own happiness. And that's what really, that was it. That was when I jumped into the driver's seat. Looking back, I didn't know it then, but now looking back, I know that exact moment was me taking my own life like back into my own hands and owning what does that mean for me, and learning how to define what does make me happy, and learning how to define what is, what do I value, what do I care about, what motivates me. And along that journey is when I picked up, within that realm, I really did find life coaching, because I was coming up to time to graduate and coming into time to finding my job after college. And so amidst my master's degree, I also studied to become a certified life coach, a certified professional life coach, which is where I just got to even expand and learn about intuition. And that was actually where I learned about intuition and asking questions and digging deeper and listening. How can we listen with not only our ears, but what aren't people saying? And so I got to learn about how to listen to, or start to learn, I'll say it's a process, like start to learn about how do I need to listen to myself, even though I'm saying something, what am I actually not saying in that information? And it's just, anyway, so that's just a little bit about my story of when I think of like, okay, what did untangling my roots look like, or that journey? And again, it's a journey. You're not going to hear me say that I'm perfect. I'm not. My heart for this podcast is honestly to share a little bit about myself and a little bit about what I've learned along the way, in hopes that it helps someone else, because I was that person on Google typing in how to be responsible for my own happiness, how to know what makes me happy, how to feel my feelings. Why don't I know what I'm feeling? Why don't I know what I want? How do I know what I want? How to know what I want? And so all those questions is what I've learned to be in relationship to and use them as a helping aid to me. And so anyway, I just am so grateful that you're here, and I can't wait to share more. So that's just a little bit about me, and now you get to meet and hear Cassie's perspective. So enjoy.
Hey guys, I'm Cassie. So a little bit about me. I grew up in Yacolt, Washington, and I was number 2 in a lineup of 4 children. I grew up in a dysfunctional home, didn't we all, right? We all have a little bit of dysfunction here and there. I want to just say first and foremost, like, I love my parents, and we all fall short in different ways. And so when I talk about my journey and my past, I want you guys to know right out the gate that I have nothing but love for my family. My father struggled with a lot of different things. He had a lot of health issues, and he also was an addict. So my childhood, he was basically on meth most of my childhood. And so it just brought on a lot of different struggles and a lot of different things that maybe, I don't know what a normal family would deal with. And I don't even know what normal is, right? Because normal is like a setting on a dryer. Like, there's no such thing as normal. And so that being my upbringing, I just wanted to shed a little bit of light on like what made me passionate to dive into emotional healing and start my own journey to being the best version of myself. So yeah, so fast forward, basically, you're going to hear a lot of different things and different episodes coming up about different struggles that I've dealt with through my life. Like, I've had a lot of mishaps and a lot of downfalls, and I've seen a lot of ugly things in this life that I don't feel like any kid should see. And somehow, even going through all of that hardship, I was able to still come out of it and still have a desire to heal and be free of all of that. So we'll dive into that a little bit later on, but a lot of different unfortunate situations, sexual abuse, addiction, different things. And so yeah, going into my adulthood, I decided that I didn't want to be a statistic. And in the sense of, like, statistics say that you basically become what you're raised around, like a very high percentage. And I had a heart to basically heal from all these poverty mindsets and get out of the victim mindset and things like that. And so I just dove in and I started doing research on different healing, and I'll get a little deeper into my story later on, but just to kind of tee it up, most of my deep healing actually came after I hit rock bottom. And I wound up in jail, and going to jail definitely was eye-opening, and it was packed with a lot of emotion, but that's where my healing began. It only went up from there. And so I went to school, for some emotional healing. I've been in the wellness industry for actually over a decade. So I've been an EMT, a CNA, mostly working with people on hospice. I just have a heart to take care of people and see people well. And I ended up going to school because I started doing my own emotional healing, and I decided that I wanted to help people in this arena. And I got my NLP practitioner's license, and I also got certified to be a clinical hypnotherapist, which can help with a lot of different healing as well. And so yeah, basically I specialized in emotional release, and I started learning different modalities to help people and to help myself. And it's been amazing. It's been a wild ride. And anyways, I'm a mom of 7 kids, and I just can't even believe where I'm at today. Like, I'm 35 years old this year, and I look at my life and I'm so amazed at just how many blessings I have, and just how everything has worked out. And one other thing that you'll hear me talk about, and I am very passionate about it, I'm not going to shove it in your face. I'm very much a person that is like, you do you, type of a thing. But I am very passionate about Jesus and what he has done for me. And God's my number one. And so I can't wait to share more about that. And I know that everyone's on a different wavelength in their belief systems, and that's okay. I hope that you guys can still get something out of this. And so anyway, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. It's so hard to kind of talk about yourself. Like, I'm like, okay, what else? What else do you guys need to know about me? Obviously, you guys, we're kind of an open book, so you can kind of ask any questions you want. I'm not shy. I'm not shy to talk about things that might hit a note in people. And one thing that I want to say is that as we go along in this podcast journey, if we say something that triggers you or makes you uncomfortable, I encourage you to look at that and know that we come from a place of love, and we just want people to be able to see that there's other options. And anyways, yeah, I feel like triggers are a great opportunity to grow. And if you guys don't know what a trigger is, it's basically when something happens and it makes you have an emotional response. And it just, to me, triggers just mean, okay, here's something being highlighted that I need to work on or I need to heal from. And so anyways, I'm super excited to be here with you guys and to be able to talk about different things that have been hard, and maybe help you guys along the way and share perspective. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else y'all want to know about me, but I can't really, it's not coming to mind. So if you have any questions or if there's anything you want to know, just ask away. Be free.
Okay, we're back. So
in summary,
we just finished watching what each of us created individually, and that was really, really eye-opening. And the one thing that do you want to start, or I'll
go ahead?
Okay. The one thing that I want to say is that what I learned is, like, we're both you keep getting blurry. I'm like, we're learning this technology stuff as we go. Do you see yourself blurry?
Not really.
What is it right next to you? Anyway, the point. So what I was trying to say was that, like, obviously you shared, like you said, you're an open book. You just shared, like you shared, and you have many, many life experiences. And I touched on the self-identity piece. And so I think I'm really excited. I'm really looking forward to, like, what is crafted together. And my heart wants to encourage anyone who listens to just know that all of the perspectives can be true, and that we're not claiming to say that, like, we know everything or that we even know
right
everyone's situation perfectly. It's kind of a disclaimer of, like, hey, like, if someone's really struggling, there's been many, many times when I have gone to counselors. Like, I have sought out professional help.
Absolutely.
For all of the stuff that we have talked about, which it will be a tool that I will bring up, like, a lot of times. And so I just want to encourage anyone if you're deeply, deeply struggling, like, the stuff that we talk about, that Google's going to pick up on our words. It's going to say, like, she said sexual abuse. Like, that's a huge, like, the things that you touched on, it's taken you years of work and really dedicated time and energy and healing to heal from those types of experiences. Mm-hmm. And my heart wants to support that. And and that's what I love about you, is that you're an open book for people who have struggled in the same way that you have. And so my heart wants to encourage people to seek out professional help if you're in those situations. That was the one thing that I wanted to share.
Yeah,
it was like such a serious note. Mine was on self-identity, and then yours was in my heart goes out to people who experience such depth of pain.
Yeah. And I feel like, honestly, like, being able to bring encouragement and hope and just, like, honestly, just knowing that someone else has gone through it too, like, not feeling alone, I feel like is the hugest gift. And honestly, that's why I share. Like, it's like, sometimes it's really hard to be vulnerable. Like, let's just be real. Like, vulnerability is, like, the hardest thing, especially publicly. We have no idea who's going to be watching this or listening in. We don't know. Mm-hmm. And all we can do is the best we can, to like show up authentically. And it's going to take a little bit of vulnerability, and you guys are going to see good, bad, and the ugly from us because we care. And I feel like this journey that we chose to do this is stretching us, and it's helping us grow to the next level, to where I feel like being able to speak publicly about things like this is extremely not only vulnerable, but it's also an opportunity to honestly take some ownership of what you've been through and validate your emotions a little bit deeper. And it's not like this podcast is not meant to be just so serious and so like, right? Like, and just talk about all the bad things. Cause like, we want to have fun too. Like, we're fun. We're fun.
Yeah, we're fun.
We're totally fun. And so
She's smiling.
we've got the baby over there. So that's the other thing. Thank you for being gracious with us. Like, our goal is to get a podcast out each week. And like, that's just our goal. And if we get more, awesome.
Great. Yeah,
we might have some bonuses. We're rolling because we got kiddos going on over here. We've got, life. She's got a full-time job. And like, so we're just going to show up when we can. And we're just so grateful for this opportunity. So,
yeah.
Right?
Yep. So yeah. So, we hope you enjoy, and we look forward to the next time.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, guys.